It's legalese. I don't speak legalese. And you're filing a motion to dismiss and a motion for this, that, and the next thing, and this kind of brief and that kind of brief, and it's a different court that's been handling it, and I get lost in that conversation because I don't speak legalese. It's hard for regular people to try and grasp what's going on. I think the lawyers like it like that.
Yeah,
That
it's good. It makes them more necessary. That's
exactly.
I heard. I have some friends who work in the field. And this is what they say, and it's pretty funny because you have to actually hear it from the person involved. Because when they go to law school, they know there are certain rules that basically mean that if you get caught by law enforcement, you probably will assume you go into a court and you just say, I didn't do anything, I'm fine, I'm a serious person. But then you have the other person knowing the game and knowing how to talk and knowing how to play and knowing how to trick you into saying things when you have the right to stay silent. So you have to know the rules to play the game and to win the game. And they know how to do that, and as long as they manage to keep the structure and the procedure in a certain way, they will be necessary. It's the same
Yeah,
with patent laws, when basically they try to encourage you, yes, you need patents, it's good for innovation, and that's just a way of making themselves necessary.
yeah. I heard years ago as well. It's when it comes to if you're ever arrested for anything, or you're convicted on what you say, not what you do. And it was a strange concept that you could do something wrong and then say something right and get away with it, or vice versa, do nothing wrong, and then because of what you say, you're convicted on that.
Yeah, I'm just, but that's probably going to be off topic if we started
It is,
talking
yeah,
about. But
it
but
is.
I think in the context of patents, very often I do see that there are two types of individuals who will defend the patents, or two types of entities. One of them is the patent lawyers, which include the patent trolls, or firms which are essentially just a bunch of lawyers, around patents, doing their work, just trying to sell you some licenses or something like that. The other thing is those who employ the lawyers, and that's usually the big companies trying to use their money to buy some people to wage wars for them in the courtroom. So it's mainly these two sides, big businesses and lawyers working together. And in this case too, when you talk about Sony, you're looking at a company that's working with basically a large company, lots of lawyers, and guess who's on the other side? It's George Hotz, and he's just basically, how old is he? He's like 20, early 20s, I think. Is he?
I don't know. I mean, what kind of annoyed me was Sony, a big multinational corporation, who have got lawyers in all sorts of cities all around the world in big high office buildings. They think that it's perfectly reasonable to expect one individual to fly from New York to California, and no doubt they'll want to spin out the trial as long as they possibly can to rack his bills up. They think that's perfectly reasonable to win the case. I think that's disgusting. They must have offices nearby in New York to be able to say, if you're going to charge them, do it. If you're going to take them to court, do it in New York. And even then, make sure you're the right company that actually have the rights over what you're claiming, which it appears that Sony Entertainment America don't. So, uh,
Right, have we got another topic to look at? Roy, have you got anything else on your sheet?
We have all kinds of things about copyrights. I haven't been keeping very good track of that. One thing that's been in the news quite a lot recently, and I know we don't usually concentrate just on patents. It's just a subject of interest to me because I think that's the major and last remaining barrier to the success and the triumph of Linux. One thing that's been happening a lot recently, I've been seeing a lot of intellectual ventures, which is the company which was created by funds from Bill Gates and one of his best friends, who's Nathan Myhrvold, and he's going after RIM now, the makers of BlackBerry, and he's putting a tax, essentially putting a tax on all the phones that they make, which is quite a lot of them. Having done something similar to some Linux-based phones, especially Android. with deals with Samsung and with HTC. So this is really concerning to me personally because this is something I've been kind of worrying about since 2007. I've been writing about this entity, this troll, this patent. It is a patent troll now. It is officially a patent troll because Intellectual Ventures is in fact suing companies with patents, and it has no products. It has no actual concrete portfolio of things that they sell. They used to do this by proxy. They used to pass patents to other companies to do lawsuits, but now they do it directly. And this is, of course, I'll just say that again, for any person who hears about Intellectual Ventures and the 30,000 patents, that's like almost 3 times the number of patents Microsoft has. Probably less than that now, but this is a company that was funded and created based on an idea from Bill Gates, who really likes patents, and he's actually holding patents with Nathan on things like nuclear power, and then, of course, then he goes to politicians and he tells them, oh, you need nuclear power, and here and there, and we offer the necessary patents to do that, and it's really just a really nice way of making sure that all the taxpayers' money goes back to you.
Just a quick little thing. Did you see the April Fool's thing about the screenless BlackBerry? Did you see that? There was someone, it was on one of the tech sites, April Fool's gag, and introducing the new screenless BlackBerry. It's a little phone with no screen on it. It's bizarre.
No, I switched off mostly on April the 1st because you just couldn't be sure what you were reading was fact or fiction. So yeah, there's quite a few bizarre ones that came out.
Yeah, sorry, one of them I was fooled by. Actually, the only one I was fooled by, and I was very, very much relieved that I wasn't the only person to have been confused by that. It's GNOME being delayed until September, having announced something similar about a year ago, and quite a few people fell for it and thought it was true, which caused them a lot of damage, because it was a person from GNOME who said that, and he said it was a joke, but people thought, it sounds quite real. It sounds like it could be real. So they just thought it was serious. But I tried not to even touch any of the existing things which were jokes because I know it tends to confuse people. So I didn't really want to put in any of my links something that's erroneous information. I just know how people respond to it. They just get confused and then they go and they click on it and like, oh damn it, it's just fake. And there was Windows going open source. There was Microsoft buying the makers of Wine, the software Wine.
Florian Mueller as promoted to the head of seat of Novell or something?
I heard something. I saw a tweet about it, but I don't think it was a post. I think it was just Charles Schultz or the guy from LibreOffice. He said something about him being on the board of Microsoft, and he was supposed to vote for Ballmer to be fired or something like that. And that was the joke. So there is a new review now of Calculate Linux, a Russian version of Linux. That's in DistroWatch, and it's interesting because do you remember this distribution called ALT Linux or Alt Linux? Was supposed to be deployed in all the schools in Russia before Microsoft did all kinds of things we could actually talk about at a different date. Or
I never tried it, but I remember vaguely Alt Linux. Yeah.
We have Fedora 16 is starting to be debated quite a bit, even though Fedora 15 is still the main version that's really expected. And
you mean Beefy Miracle?
Yeah, and I wonder what code name they'll choose this day. But one thing I did notice though is if you want to really care about technical issues and technical progress when it comes to a distribution, you have to keep track of Fedora, because with Red Hat and everything, they usually put these things first in their distro before OpenSUSE and definitely before Ubuntu. I mean, I look at Ubuntu News and I'm just kind of joking. I'm just seeing all this Unity, kind of like weird, like Mac OS 10, you see all this, oh, new wallpapers, oh, great wallpapers, and just loads of stuff now is about wallpapers with it's basically a bunch of pictures with Ubuntu logo on them, and I just think that's not news. I mean, just really.
Yeah,